Okay, guys, everybody, can we just calm down, please? Now, I know that the transfer window is open and we've been getting a lot of bids for players, but I just want to put this to you all now. None of you are leaving. Not one of you. No, I'm not having it. I've put a lot of work into trying to build this team for the Champions League, and I'm not going to have you stuff it up just because the transfer window's open. No, I'm not having it. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Grindavik on The Impossible Dream. It is Season 7, Episode 3, and today we start the Champions League qualifying campaign. We are against Albanian opposition, Teuta or something along those lines, but we are July 10th, the transfer window is open, and we are getting bids for our players that I do not want to accept. You can see here there's currently, well, there's two that are unhappy. Sulik Vadzi, we've had bids coming in up to and over £1 million. He doesn't have a release fee, so we can reject things, but he's unhappy about it. It could become a problem. And what could also become a problem is Bakali. Now, Bakali, a little bit like Antonio, has a release fee that suddenly looks very small at 210,000. So we're just kind of hoping that the bid doesn't come in for him. And yeah, well, we are on the edge here. We are very much on the edge. I've had a look to try and find, could we find somebody? Could we sell them, and reinvest the money? And no, is the basic answer. There is nobody that wants to join us that is as good as these guys that's going to be able to come in and replace them. So yeah, I've even looked on loan, and even on loan, we would be struggling to get players in. So we've got to the Champions League, and everything is just in danger of falling to pieces on us now. So this is, yeah, very, very concerning, let's say. While we're here, let's have a quick look at the hierarchy. We can see we are starting to get team leaders, highly influential players, which is good. Bakali is vice captain, so hopefully he will end up here. But both the Andreasen brothers and Turpitson are the team leaders right now. Capiello and Gadini are the other highly influential players. So yeah, they've been around for a while now, so it's good to see them taking a little bit of a leadership role, and still not massive support, but no one's objecting to me, so I guess that's a minor victory. Social groups, again, coming together slowly, but there's such a high turnover of players right now that I think we're kind of destined to have these sorts of splinters in the social groups until we can get everybody, a regular team together, which is probably still seasons off yet. We have not really got any players yet that you say, yeah, they're world class. So yeah, we're a little ways away from having a happy dressing, or a together dressing room, let's say. So that is pretty much all that's happened off the pitch. We've just been desperately trying to fend off bids and making plans if something happens and we have to sell players. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've also played 3 games in the league, so you should probably catch up on those. The first of which was against FH. We took the lead when Capiello picked out Gadini before the axe sealed the points. So we massively underperformed our XG in this one. I mean, we had a penalty, which helps it, but still, a 4 XG to only score 2 is obviously disappointing. Daesh has been asking for more game time. I said I'd give it to him. He's the one I'm actually kind of willing to sell because he's a foreign player, and at this point, he's second choice to Gadini, I think. And we have Holdartson, of course, who's come through the academy. So yeah, didn't make himself a massive fan of his. We brought Gadini off the bench, and he was able to actually put a chance away, and that sort of then allowed us to go and win the game. So that was one result in the bag. Next up, it was Vikinger, who at the time was second in the league. We took a first half lead when Bakali found Daesh at the edge of the area. Vikinger pulled level before Daesh restored our lead. So much better from Daesh on this occasion with his double there. We still should have scored more. We underperformed XG, but yeah, I mean, we're doing still chance conversion training. We're rotating a little bit, obviously, at this point. We had 3 games in a week as well, which probably didn't help. But again, ultimately, we got the result. That's the main thing. And we then faced IA in the league, who at the time of playing them had replaced Vikinger in second place. We went ahead when Matheson found Bergson unmarked before Allmarkson picked out Daesh to seal the points. So we were very much below our best in this one. We deserved the win. It was one of those, though, where the body language of the whole team was sort of anxious and nervous, and I couldn't get them out of that. Thankfully, we got that first goal through Bergson, and then we sort of settled down and got the late goal to seal it for us. But yeah, very much a rotated side, and as I say, below your best to win 2-0 away from home is obviously a good thing. But let's go and have a look at what all this has done for the league table. And as you would expect, winning back-to-back games against the team that was in second place, we've opened up a nice little 10-point gap. We are now halfway through the season, and only IA with a game in hand could close that down to 8 points. An 8-point gap if they win that game in hand, obviously go to 20 points. But generally speaking, we are absolutely flying. And something else of note, if we look at the top goal scorers in the division, the Axe is currently third with 5 goals. So he is having a wonderful, wonderful season himself. But let's go and have a look at what we're doing here in our Champions League qualifier. We are facing this team from Albania, and the first leg is at Grindavik. So hopefully we'll be able to get this done and dusted in the first leg. It's Andreasen in goal. It's Depe, Axe, Sulukvadze, and Astadi. It's Antonio, Capiello, and Bakali in midfield. Kepe, Borges and Gadini. You can see the unhappy players there that bids have been rejected. We've just got to really hope that we can hang on to them here because, we need them to play well as well, I suppose. Okay, we can see the team sheets there. I don't recognise any names. Now, of course, at this point last year that we found Sulukvadze. So, unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a similar sort of player that we find. Our home form is important to us, boys. Let's get out there and win this one. And, hopefully make the second leg a bit of a formality. Now, while we're waiting for this to get underway, I did have a deal on the Discord, and I forgot to mention it yesterday. If you can predict the score in both games, then I'll give you a shout-out. So, Dave Mortensen, this is to make up for... No, it's just Dave Mortrim, isn't it? Not Mortensen. Anyway, well done, mate. You did predict both scores correctly in, not yesterday's episode, the one before that. I did forget to do it yesterday. Technically, got the scores in the wrong order, but... he didn't say which game was which, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. If you do want to have a chance of a shout-out, go join the Discord. There's a link in the description below. And if you can... Roof Watch is back for a new season. And if you can predict both scores correctly of the 2 games, then, I'll give you a said shout-out. Now, they've actually gone with wing-back, so we'll need to change things up here. We do have a highlight first, though. And by I just mean change the marking assignments to make sure that everybody's where they need to be. But we'll wait for this highlight to end and see if we can take an early goal here. Now, if this tie is done after this leg, there's a good ball for Gadini. Oh, and Gadini, he is just class, isn't he? 20th of the season. And it was a wonderful ball through. Was it Depe with the ball through? It was. That's not bad for a left-back. And look at that. He's taken 4 defenders out with that pass and the dinky finish at the end. Magnificent from Gadini. Okay, marking assignments changed. Morty the cat has been left out, and we are 1-0 up. Excuse me. I was going to say too, it's another goal. This time it's Sulukvadze. That all looked a little bit easy, didn't it? This tie is going to be over here. I'm not sure what we do, to be honest. What we might do is show the next league game, and and then I'll do the second leg off camera, and then before we go today, we'll find out who it is we're going to be playing in the next round. It's very early to be assuming this, of course, but this looks fairly comfortable for us, doesn't it? Kebe now, is he going to get a cross in? See what 10 grand a week gets us. A nice ball back to Sulukvadze is the answer there. So my question is, Gadini, how much is he worth? I mean, because he plays in Iceland with us, I mean... his actual value is that we're not going to get necessarily what he's worth. But to me, having seen what he can do in Europe, in the Champions League, not just in Europe, he's at least a £10 million striker, isn't he? But Carly just over the top. At least a £10 million striker. He's valued at, you can see there, 300 grand. I mean, he is just worth more than that. He's shown what he can do at the very top level. He scored 4 goals against Dortmund, let's not forget, in the first knockout round of the Champions League last season. Bakali is looking so good, and what about that from Gadini? There's a goal of the season contender, and it is 3-0 now. And this is why I don't want to sell Bakali. 210 grand is an absolute steal if someone wants to trigger that fee. I'm honestly shocked that that's a stunning finish as well. I'll be so disappointed. The issue with Bakali is that, the big issue is that I forgot he had a release fee. I could have obviously re-signed him when he was happy. But he wouldn't have signed without that release fee. I don't put release fees in because I want them there. Basically, they're one of those things that is non-negotiable with the agent. So, we're just looking so good. We are far too good for this team. Borges digs out a cross, but it's hacked away. Depe now. Back to the Axe. I think the reason the Axe is playing is it's just a little bit the way that the squad rotation has worked just now. Is that a penalty? It is. Gadini for the hat-trick. Yeah, with Bergson coming back from the under-21s, that's a wonderful hat-trick for Gadini inside 35 minutes. The way that then the squad rotation has kind of worked, playing 3 games a week, is Bergson was kind of not able to come in where he would have done to play with next to Sulukvadze. So I think what we will do is I think for the next tie in the Champions League, we'll get back to Sulukvadze and Bergson as the main two. And Axe can focus on the league. And Gadini will probably be disappointed he didn't get a 4th there, if we're honest. Bakali to whip in across. We go to the back post again. It's off the back post. And that is the end of that highlight. I'm going to limit the amount of subs that we make here. The reason for that is that... actually, no, what I might do, because if we play this team in the league, give us a better chance of winning the league, won't it? We've had a lot of shots so far. Okay, just don't get complacent. All right, let me have a think about what we want to do in terms of subs here. We'll leave Gadini on, see how many goals he can get. Plus, I've promised Daesh first-team football. Otherwise, let me think what we need to do. We'll get back out there for now. We'll leave it unchanged. I wouldn't mind giving some of the younger guys on the bench a game, as that is just over the top. One thing we could do for the second leg as well, actually, is give Rafason a game in goal. I mean, he's just as good as... I mean, arguably, he should have started this one, actually. Gadini's in. Gadini's going to get 4. A 23rd of the season now for him. And we'll just let him keep going, see how many goals he can get here. But yeah, 5-0, there is definitely no need for the second leg to be shown. I think it's Fram in the league that we're playing. So we'll get that on next, and have a look at some of the I wouldn't say lesser players. All right, it seems silly not to make some subs here, so we will. Oh, that is it off the post or saved onto the crossbar, I should say. All right, so we are going to make a couple of changes. We'll get some youngsters on here, so it will be Henriksen coming on to learn how to play on the left side of there. We'll bring the youngster Dudge Bertson on. And if we have another sub to make, I think that to be Gudmundsson on for Antonio. So there's a triple sub. I don't know if we have more. Can we make 5? I think we can make 5, can't we? But we can't make more than 3 stoppages to make those 5. So who else would we like to give game time to here? We have to go to highlight. We are Bakali over a free kick. Good one. Oh, it's there, and it is the Axe with a 7th of the season. And of course, it was a corner, not a free kick. Let's maybe take Bakali off for Allmarkson. And we might leave it at that. I think we'll keep a sub up our sleeve just in case we do happen to get an injury. As we play out from the back, Depe brings it down nicely, takes his time. Crossfield ball, beautiful for Capiello. Dag Jabartson, what's he going to do here? He's quick. He tries for the cross. It's blocked though. Capiello to Gudmundsson. Ball forward. It is cleared away, but we keep the pressure on. Sulukvadze. I really hope. I thought maybe we could maybe sell him, get a 50% sell on, and Godini! Oh, he's got 5. It is 7-0. It's an absolute demonstration here. And yeah, I mean, you almost feel bad for the Albanians, don't you? Because yeah, this stage last year we played those Georgians, and we really did have a tough time against them. In the end we got there okay, but yeah, that was it's just day and night, because this is proving to be a much easier time of things. Look at those ratings, those poor Albanians. Now, are they going to get one back here? Let's not have too much sympathy for them. Andreasen is waiting. Andreasen, as he always seems to be, was there. But yeah, I thought about selling Sulukvadze. We actually did accept a bid. I think it was from Bologna for £1 million and a 50% sell-on. And then I got cold feet and changed my mind. And then his value now is actually up. I think his sort of value range is between 1.2 and 1.7 million. So I'm certainly glad I did that. And Gadini has a 6th. Now this is record-breaking territory now. A Stardy with a cross in. I'm beginning to lean towards signing him for, on a permanent deal. I think we have a £750,000 option to buy. And that is looking, my chair is slowly collapsing under my weight here. So, hang on, we might, can we get to the end? See if I just raise myself back up. There we go, that's better. But yeah, this has been brilliant. I'm thinking we will sign him. And then I think Matheson needs replacing as well, if I'm honest. But an absolute demonstration. And surely, well, what we want to do is not be complacent first and foremost. So Grindavik, simply great. Gadini 6. That is going to be some sort of a record, isn't it? So actually, let's go and have a look and see what sort of a record it is. So most goals by a player in a match in the Champions League is 5 from 1959. So Gadini has broken that. Whether or not it needs to be at a certain stage for the record to count, possibly. So maybe it won't actually count as an all-time record, which is a shame, really. And in terms of our records, it actually only equals a record that was set in 1987. So, well, a bit of an anticlimax there, really, wasn't it? All right, guys, wait right there. We'll come back for a game in the league. Okay, welcome back. Now, when we get past these Albanians, our next tie is against Hungarian opposition, the Puskás Academy. So we'll see what they're like when we get there. As I say, there's no point showing the second leg because at 8-0, it would take... Even I can't stuff that up, basically. Now, if we go and have a look here, we are about to face Fram. We will be at home for this one. Let's have a look at the team that we are sending out, and we will see that we're expecting a 4-2-3-1 formation from them. And this is it. So Andreasen goes in goal. It is Depe, Hansi Mortensen, Bergson, though not as a ball player, please, mate, and a Stardy. Yeah, we'll go with a Stardy for this one. It's going to be Antonio, though he's got a heavy match load, so maybe not. Let's maybe stick... who can we put in there? Let's throw this guy in, Ingvason. So Ingvason, Capiello, and Bakali, who has a heavy match load, but I want him to play anyway, I think. Cisse, Thomason, who is, again, we're trying to turn into a left winger. And then Daesh, having promised him first team football, he gets to start up top for this one as well. All right, so we can see the team sheets here. Niall Huggins will be returning to our stadium for the first time since his departure, and I don't recognise any other names on that list. We're on a good run, impress me. Home form's important to us. Let's keep going with that. We've got a nervous-looking Ingvason, which doesn't need to happen, mate. You're a good player. And Daesh is also looking nervous, but he's fine. Yeah, this is Ingvason. He came through the academy. He's a very solid player, so he should be more than comfortable playing at this level. And yeah, well, let's see what we can do here. Form seems to have more or less picked up now, doesn't it? Any sort of blips that we've had have more or less been pushed to the side. I think, too, some problems that we have when we first start playing in Europe is the likes of say, Daesh, of Cisse, guys that haven't been playing regularly in the league. They're just not match sharp. So once they do start playing, then they get... Obviously, they get better, and then I think we see an improvement in performances just from that, to be honest. So, yeah, the plan is, obviously, we'll have a rotated side for the Champions League. I'm not going to play like a ridiculously young side, but it will be a lot of academy players where we can. Daesh is in! Daesh! Oh, it's a decent save. Yeah, so we'll play some of the academy players. Rafason will play in goal. And then I'll show you the highlights next episode. But yeah, as I say, there's no point. There's no mystery in that game anymore. Bergson knocks it down to Bakali. Bakali takes his time and can't find the back of the net. Yeah, like I said, and hopefully when we come back for that Puskás Academy game, then we'll still have the players we want to have. The issue, I mean, Sulukvadze, we can just say no. He's contracted to us. There's nothing he can really do about it. He can sulk and not play well, but outside of that, there's nothing he can do about it. The issue is Bakali and Antonio, who hasn't had any bids. Antonio, not necessarily a concern on that front, but he does have that 180 grand release fee that he's not willing to get rid of just yet, as Niall Huggins gets forward, and Niall Huggins rattles the crossbar. Just a few signs here. This is what the game was like against IA, where we just looked a little bit nervous and anxious throughout. There's a ball to the back post. It is Cisse, and it is just wide. Let's maybe give it a bit of maybe a no pressure. Just see if that settles us down a little bit. Not really. I mean, it's another game where we've dominated the half, but not necessarily done particularly well. We'll say unlucky. I'm not going to criticize nervous and anxious players too much, as Stardy is worryingly not quite there. Thomason as well. We could move Cisse over and bring on Dudge Bartson. We'll kind of see how we go here. We've got Capiello with a corner. It's a near post, and it's in from Hansi Mortensen. It's his first for the club. And, well, what a moment it is for Hansi. From the corner, the perfect start to the second half. We've got near post this time, and it's a beautiful, beautiful header. Goalkeeper can do nothing about it, and another academy kid gets off the mark. Wonderful to see. We've given them some praise, which has frustrated players. I don't understand. I mean, unless it's coming across as like mockingly praising them, I don't understand how you can be annoyed at praise. But anyway, let's try demand more then. That's fired up a few. Astadi now with a throw. Decent. Ingvason gets it forward in there for Bakali. Is that a penalty? No. Mortensen is back. And here we come again forward. Mortensen, good ball, great ball for Thomason. Can he pull it back now? He goes himself, and Tobias Thomason gets his first for the club. And it is 2-0 now. Much, much better second half performance. This is just the way the IA game went as well, actually. We took a little bit longer to get that first goal, but good ball. Thomason in behind the defence, and could he have squared it for Daesh? He could have, but where's the fun in that? So he goes himself, gets himself his goal, and this should now be relatively comfortable. Is there anybody on the bench you want to give game time to? Maybe it's a bit too late now to bring on Dick Bersham. We might give him a start in Europe, perhaps. Are we going to have a nervous end, though? 88th minute, headed away by Bergson. Down for Thomason. Thomason gets forward, looking for Daesh. It can't quite pick it up, but Bakali is sniffing around, but can't, again, get onto the ball. You can see Bakali's work rate, can't you? He could be a really, really important player for us for quite a few seasons, just because he has when they do pull one back. And maybe we are going to have a little bit of a nervous end to this one. We'll tell him to focus. But yeah, he's got the technical ability, does Bakali, with the work rate, and that is not very easy to find. Good finish, to be fair. Maybe you could argue Mortensen, someone needed to get out a little bit quicker to close him down. But another highlight as we go and try and put a bit of pressure on here, high up the pitch. Mortensen hacks it forward. Daesh turns his man nicely. Daesh is in, and Daesh just side foots it straight into the keeper's arms. And, well, suddenly the game has very much opened up. Should we be trying to close this down? Oh, Capiello reads that like a book and just gives it straight back to them. And they've lumped it forward. They're in behind us here. This is not good. And suddenly it is 2-2. We have thrown away a game that was ours. We'd already won it. And somehow we've managed to stuff it up. Not much the goalkeeper could do, really. He was very much exposed there. All right, let's go and step up a little bit more, and we've got to try and win this game back again now. There will be a berating coming from the touchline. And can we rescue it with 45 seconds to go in stoppage time? Bakali gets it forward. It's cleared away. Depe has it. Depe gets it back in towards Daesh. Oh, it's off the post. It's Daesh. No, he's offside. It would have been a tap-in. And, well, the clock is now running down, and we have dropped yet more points this season. Unfortunately, on camera, we probably should have gone to close the game down, but there was no sign that they were coming back into it, and then suddenly 2 goals in a minute. And that is obviously very, very disappointing. It should have been done and dusted. Arguably, as the manager, I should have tried to close the game down, but hopefully we will live and learn from that. And, yeah, well, disappointing. So there we go. I mean, it doesn't change too much necessarily in terms of the league. We still got a very comfortable lead, though it could be down to 6 points if IA were to win that game they have in hand over us now. But yeah, it was just silly, wasn't it? It was just silly, and to me, as much as anything, I should have just closed the game down. But anyway, we'll live and learn, and I shouldn't take things for granted, should I? But that will do it for today. If you have enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We'll come back next time to face Pushkas Academy, and hopefully, well, we'll see. If we have a first leg like that again, we'll show a league game, which will be in here somewhere, possibly KR. And if it's close, if the second leg is still alive, then we'll show the second leg. If you've enjoyed that, say thumbs up. Keep your fingers crossed we don't lose any players, and I'll see you next time for Pushkas. Take care.